Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to Ridezone Bikes. Today we're diving deep into the 2025 Honda Shadow Phantom, a bike that sits in a sweet spot between cruiser comfort and bobber styling. If you've ever wanted something that combines old-school soul with Honda's reliability and modern touches, the Phantom deserves a closer look. This video is going to walk you through the design, features, performance, handling, unique aspects, pricing, and everything you need to know before you think about riding one home. Stick around, because this machine has more going on than it seems at first glance. The Shadow Phantom is not new in name, but for 2025 it's sharper, cleaner, and even more targeted at riders who want minimalist styling without sacrificing daily usability. Park it next to a lineup of shiny cruisers, and the Phantom looks different right away. The blacked out treatment is extensive: frame, wheels, engine covers, exhausts, even the suspension hardware. Honda's goal here was to eliminate chrome as much as possible and lean hard into that stripped-down, purposeful bobber aesthetic. It's less about sparkle, more about shadow, and it works beautifully. The front and rear fenders are cut short, the solo saddle sits low and slim, and the tank has that classic teardrop shape that stays timeless. Machined edges on the cylinder fins and subtle highlights on the wheels keep the bike from looking too monotone, but it remains dark and muscular overall. For those who care about visual first impressions, the Phantom nails it. Another important design element is the ergonomics. The solo seat sits at just 25.6 inches, which is extremely approachable for riders of almost any height. That low stance isn't just cosmetic and makes it easy to flat-foot the bike at stops, which builds confidence, especially if you're newer to cruisers or if you've always found taller bikes intimidating. Combine that with a narrow midsection where the seat meets the tank, and the bike feels less bulky than the spec sheet weight might suggest. The handlebars rise just enough to offer a relaxed riding triangle, and the foot controls are placed slightly forward but not stretched into extreme cruiser territory. The result is a posture that feels laid back without being lazy, and comfortable for commuting, weekend rides, or longer hauls. Lighting has gone fully modern. The 2025 Shadow Phantom features LED headlight, LED taillight, and LED turn signals. They shine brighter, last longer, and give the bike a crisp modern edge that contrasts nicely with its retro silhouette. Honda has balanced modern convenience with traditional cruiser cues. You get clean-spoked wheels, a conventional round headlight housing, and analog-style instrumentation, but behind it you know you're dealing with reliable 21st century tech. Even the little details like hidden wiring and neat cabling add to the overall impression of a clean, factory-custom machine. Now, let's talk engine, because this is the heart of what makes the Phantom tick. It runs a 745cc liquid-cooled SOC V-twin with 3 valves per cylinder. Bore and stroke are 79 by 76 mm, and compression ratio is 9.6:1. Fuel is delivered through Honda's PGM-FI fuel injection system with a 34 mm throttle body. That all sounds technical, but what it means on the road is this: instant, reliable starts in any weather, smooth throttle response, and torque that comes in early and sticks around. The engine has been tuned not for screaming horsepower, but for that steady, rolling wave of torque that cruisers live on. Peak power isn't the headline, it's the character and the usable grunt that lets you roll on from a stop, merge onto highways, or cruise at 60 without needing to downshift constantly. Pairing with the V-twin is a wide ratio 5-speed gearbox. Honda has stuck to 5 gears because the spread covers most situations just fine. Around town, you'll live in the first 3 gears, where torque is abundant. On the highway, 4th and 5th smooth out the ride. There's no 6th gear overdrive here, but the bike isn't about chasing top-end numbers anyway. More importantly, final drive is via shaft, and this is a standout feature. Many bikes in this middleweight cruiser segment use chains or belts. Chains need cleaning, lubrication, adjustment. Belts are cleaner but still wear. A shaft drive, on the other hand, is nearly maintenance-free. You don't need to fuss with it, you don't get greasy hands, and it lasts. For riders who just want to get on, ride, and park without hassle, this is a big plus. It also contributes to the Phantom's clean look. Braking and suspension are solid if not exotic. Up front you have a single 296mm disc with a twin-piston caliper, while the rear gets a 276mm disc with a single-piston caliper. For 2025, ABS is standard, which adds another layer of confidence, especially in wet or slippery conditions. Suspension consists of a 41mm front fork with 4.6 inches of travel, and dual rear shocks with adjustable preload and about 3.5 inches of travel. Nothing radical, but more than capable of handling the roads most Phantom owners will ride. Handling is defined by the geometry. 34-degree rake and a 64.6-inch wheelbase give the bike long, stable manners. It wants to track straight and true, soak up miles, and feel planted. It's not a canyon carver, but it's not supposed to be. Honda tuned it for comfort and stability. Curb weight comes in at 553 pounds fully fueled. That might sound heavy if you're used to smaller displacement bikes, but it's actually pretty manageable for a cruiser of this size, and again, the low seat height makes it easier to balance. Fuel capacity is 3.9 gallons, which combined with Honda's efficiency means you can expect somewhere in the ballpark of 55–56 miles per gallon. That gives you a realistic range of 180 to 200 miles before you start looking for gas. It's not an endurance touring bike, but it's plenty for most weekend rides, commutes, or day trips. So how does it feel when you actually ride? In town, the Phantom is smooth and easy to handle. The throttle is predictable, clutch pull is reasonable, and the wide handlebars give leverage for maneuvering in traffic. At highway speeds, it feels planted and steady, not twitchy. Acceleration isn't explosive, but it's strong and steady, especially in the low to mid RPM range. You can roll past traffic confidently. The exhaust note is classic V-twin rumble throaty without being obnoxious. Vibration is present, but Honda has balanced it so it adds character without numbing your hands or feet. Long rides are relaxed, and because of the ergonomic triangle, you won't feel cramped. Comfort is also worth talking about. The stock solo seat is padded well enough for an hour or two without complaint, though hardcore touring riders might want aftermarket upgrades. The suspension is tuned for smooth roads and moderate bumps. Potholes and rough patches will be felt, but that's par for the course in this segment. Passenger accommodations are optional. You'll need to add a seat and pegs if you want to carry someone. For solo riders, the minimalist setup works great for two-up. Budget extra for accessories. Now let's hit what really makes the Phantom stand out. First, the styling. That factory bobber look is rare in a bike that doesn't cost a fortune or require aftermarket customization. Second, the shaft drive, a huge maintenance win. Third, ABS is standard, not always common in this class. Fourth, the low seat height. It opens the door to a wide range of riders, including those who usually struggle with taller cruisers. And finally, Honda's reputation for reliability. You can expect this bike to start, run, and keep running with minimal fuss. That's worth a lot, especially compared to boutique brands or highly customized builds. Of course, no bike is perfect. The Phantom has a few drawbacks to consider. The fuel tank, while adequate, isn't big enough for true long-distance touring without more frequent stops. Weight is manageable but still substantial, so parking lot maneuvers require some muscle. Passenger setup requires extra cost. And if you're looking for blazing horsepower or sporty lean angles, this isn't your bike. But if you accept it for what it is, a stylish, reliable, approachable cruiser, those drawbacks are minor. Pricing in the United States is set at $8,699 MSRP for the 2025 model year, plus a $600 destination charge. That's before dealer fees, taxes, and so on. Depending on your market, the out-the-door price will vary, but as a ballpark you are looking at just under $10,000 by the time you're signing papers. Compared to rivals in the same displacement class, that's competitive, especially when you consider the shaft drive, V and ABS. In fact, some competing models that offer less equipment or less refinement run at similar or higher prices. Honda has positioned the Phantom as accessible without being bargain basement, and that feels right. At the end of the day, the 2025 Honda Shadow Phantom is a bike built for riders who want something stylish, dependable, easy to live with, and priced fairly. It's not trying to be the fastest or flashiest. Instead, it's trying to be the one that starts every morning, looks great rolling through town, and feels good on weekend rides. It's a motorcycle you can buy with confidence, knowing it'll perform consistently without demanding much in return. For new riders who want to step into the cruiser world without intimidation, for experienced riders who want a hassle-free daily machine, or for anyone who just loves that dark bobber aesthetic, the Phantom makes a strong case. So that's the breakdown. If you enjoyed this in-depth review, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss another Ridezone Bikes video. What do you think about the Shadow Phantom? Would you go for the blacked-out factory bobber look, or do you prefer more chrome and flash? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep riding safe, and I'll see you in the next one.